Good morning, everyone. Just wait for a few more minutes, for a few seconds for people to hop on here. Let's find myself. Good morning. Do you see my new face mask? Isn't that amazing? It's got the Stampin' Up! Logo inked on there. Nice little colors that pair with the Playful Patterns product suite. So I wanted to share that I got my new Stampin' Up! Little mask that demonstrators can order. I actually am going to be giving one of those away. I need to make sure my volume is down on my iPad. I think I'm getting the hang of this thing. Open this up so that I can see all the comments. I've shared it over to my page and I think we're good to go. Good morning. So this is the Stampin' Up! It's available to demonstrators. The new mask, it does require a filter to be put inside, but it's really nice. I like that it has a fuller coverage. So I just wanted to sport that this morning to show you the new logo product that Stampin' Up! Has put out for demonstrators to purchase. And I have one to give away, so I'll give you the details on that as well. So good morning, everyone. Wow, already. Hi, Kay. Cards. I need to message you. I have something for you that you won a while back. But anyway, hi, Mary and Lori and Sandy and Gail and wow, everyone that's joining this morning. I'm so happy to share my Sunday mornings with all of you. And this is a surprise, actually. When I was looking at my schedule for my Sunday Lives with MJ, I actually was supposed to do pre-recorded stuff and post the pre-recording stuff. Hi, Jenny. Because this is my daughter's birthday weekend. So her birthday actually falls on the 19th, but I wanted to be available if there was something she wanted to do that was special, but she's still sleeping, I think. So I'm going to sneak on here and do this live rather than do pre-recordings, which is even better for me. Hi, Lisa. Because I love being able to interact with all of you. Hi, Tammy. So welcome, everyone. I'm going to flip the camera. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on talking because I have 4 projects. One's pretty simple. And again, we're featuring the Hydrangea Hill product suite, and I'm so excited. I have 4 cards to share with you with some technique. Hopefully you'll have enough time to spend with me. If not, feel free to catch the replay. Just know that I'm so blessed and honored that you take time to watch my, hi Jane, to watch my presentations each week. But I am going to finish all 4 projects in their entirety so that you have complete details how to remake them if you have this product suite or want to purchase this suite. So, and a reminder that today is the last day to register for my Hydrangea Hill card class. So details for that also are on my desk. So let's get this camera reversed and get started with some fun stuff today. I gotta take my shoes off so I'm not clanking on my floor. So here we go. Flip the camera. Hopefully this stayed right in the position I need it in. We'll see. Yeah, we're a little off. Hold on one moment. Just turn you a little bit. Get you straightened out over my little, hi Victoria, my little work area. And hopefully, hold on, there we go. Got a little crimp in the paper. Okay, this week's host code. If you purchase, if you purchase $35 in my online store using this host code, which I will put in the description of this video as soon as my video is done, between today and the 22nd, then you will receive the make and takes from today's project. So that's 4 cards you'll receive make and takes for. So another thing with that is the Demo Design Dream Team. And I know I've highlighted this before. You can receive 16 tutorials in a bundle, PDF tutorial, not the project kits, but the tutorial with instructions to make all 16 of these projects if you spend $35 or more in my online store. That is with the host code, without the host code, whatever the case is. I prefer you use the host code because it will also earn you the make and takes from today. Hi, Shirley. Hi, everyone that's jumping on. I'm so excited. And this is my featured card for this tutorial. Pretty basic layout, but it's awesome because we're using that mini messages for that. And of course, this doesn't, I use the mini messages, sorry, the Stitch So Sweetly dies for the rectangle, and some, obviously, that beautiful paper Blooms designer series paper, which is a free celebration item with a purchase of $50 or more in my online store. And of course that pretty navy, Night of Navy ribbon that is in that trio pack from the Playing with Patterns trio pack of ribbons. So that is my design for this tutorial. Okay. And that gets emailed to you within a week of you placing your order. So just so you know that. Again, that's the host code. And again, I'll share that in the description of this video once I'm done airing today. So we'll set that aside. And again, this is my Hydrangea Hill card class. You will get, if you register, you will get kits to make 2 each of each design. So that is a great deal, and I got kind of cut off there, but this kind of gives you a gist of what that class is all about. And you can find the details in a previous post here on my in the news feed here. Hi Shirley, I think I said hi to you. I'm looking at messages on my phone because I'm standing, and I really should be sitting so I can see my messages in front of me on my iPad. Okay, this here is a sampler of the cardstock that coordinates, 6 envelopes, a sampler of those beautiful pastel pearls, a yard of the gorgeous grape sheer ribbon, the designer series paper. Let's take a walk through. You guys saw my projects that I created using the A Touch of Ink stamp set. That is a free celebration product with a $100 purchase, if that's what you choose to order. I know there's some stuff that is on back order with Celebration or maybe turned off, like unorderable currently. Don't fret. They have some supplies coming in. If you have a question about anything and you're placing an order, or you need me to key in your order for you, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help you with that. I do know that the Oso Ombre has been completely wiped out off the shelves. So that's that designer series paper that I highlighted way back when. That is currently unorderable, but I know they have a very large supply coming to the warehouse this week. Matter of fact, I think actually by tomorrow. So they will probably turn that back on for people to get that in there as their free item too, if that's something you want. So this, long story short, is a piece of that 12 by 12 paper, which I've cut. This is my last sheet till I get my order. This is what it looks like, and imagine it 12 by 12. It's awesome for doing cards because you can just cut it down to layers like I did for my 6 cards I did with it, or it's great for a scrapbook page. So we have that, and so this is that design with beautiful little polka dots on there, a trio of polka dots. This is gorgeous, and it's Rococo Rose, some Rococo Rose in there, and the striped Highland Heather, this beautiful floral. It reminds me of wallpaper in like my Graham's house or something when I was a child. And of course that's just gorgeous. I'm going to show you some fun stuff with this stuff today. Beautiful hydrangeas, and of course I've told you several times that they were our wedding flowers, so I'm so excited about this suite. And this goes this way. You have different hydrangea designs here, and the Old Olive and Mossy Meadow checkered, kind of a plaid or a buffalo check print. And this as well, gorgeous, deep, beautiful colors there. And then that piece. So, and then the suite also includes this acetate, which is mercury glass acetate. So it comes in Highland Heather and Rococo Rose, and on the back it looks silver, so you could even use the back side if you wanted to. This sampler is going to go in for this week's drawing, so actually the drawing next week. So be sure, and actually I have to break it down. I have 2 prizes for next week. So anyone commenting is going to go into the prize patrol for this ribbon, which is part of that Playful Patterns ribbon. So I pulled out a coordinating color because all those colors within the mask coordinate with Playful Patterns. So I have a mask and a spool of ribbon from that pack for anyone commenting. Okay, now anyone who shares the video is going to go into the drawing. So comment that you shared and share, you go into both drawings. If you share, you get an additional entry into the drawing for this little pack of goodies. So you can make your own cards as well. So that's the plan for all of my little prizes for next week. So be sure you're commenting and sharing. I think all those that share my videos each week, it's just, it helps me so much because I absolutely love, hi Brandy. Oh, thanks, my nails. I actually had these done for next week's presentation. I mean, obviously Valentine's Day, but I am totally trying to, I'm using that new mega bundle next week, and I'll show you pictures of that in the catalog. Sorry for the shadows. It's really cloudy outside today, so I'm not getting a whole lot of natural light in my window. So those were these cards, and thank you for the compliment on my nails. Thanks everyone for sharing. These are the cards that I did with that one sheet wonder, and it actually left 3 strips of paper that were, I don't know, 1.5 inches that were by 4 or something, and I haven't used those yet in a card, so you actually could make 7 cards from doing that one sheet wonder. But I thought it was fun using that Touch of Ink stamp set, and it's got 2-step stamping and did some fussy cutting and all that fun stuff. I do have to share with you, I had some Christmas cards that were on display in my I have a little thing my mom made me. It's a wall hanging, and it has pockets, and it's got snowmen all over it, and I hang it in the kitchen every winter, like Christmas season, so I can tuck all our greeting cards in it. And there were 2 that I neglected to share with you this in a couple of my broadcasts. So this one is from Gail, beautiful, love the bird, and of course that snowflake paper that we were able to use. And of course my favorite color is purple. And this was a card that we did in one of my classes, which you guys may have seen. And this came from, let me just take a peek. Oops. That is from, Judy Fullerton, who is not on Facebook, but she is, loves making greeting cards and sending them out. So as all of you do as well. So I wanted to share those. Those were, and that is from that, Wonder of the Season Memory More card pack. I am not sure if any of these products are still available in the clearance rack or anything like that. And maybe they're not because that's from the holiday catalog that just ended. So I am going to take my sweater off because I have been overheating today, trying to do too much. So, okay, let me announce also, BJ Hill is the winner of my Tags in Bloom prize from last week. So BJ, you will be getting that in the mail. Thank you for commenting on my video last week. I also want to share, those of you that ordered that, with the very first host code of the month of January, your kits are in the mail because I finally got that navy ink, or the navy ribbon. Hi, Maddie. And who else jumped on here? Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. Hi, Rosalind. Oh, it's so many people here. I love it. Thanks for joining me. But your kits are in the mail. I've already sent them out. And you're going to notice on the outside, I neglected to put this in one of your kits, but you will know by the designs in the replay of that video from the first week in January. So your kits are on the way. Thank you for your orders. I totally appreciate you. Okay, now, any more announcements? I also have a prize, and not because I picked the person's name. Trina Underhill, I went to visit her at the post office yesterday to mail out those kits that I just shared with you. And we were having a conversation, and she's one of my silent viewers, and that's okay because I have some of those that don't necessarily comment and all that stuff. Hi, Lori. I'm going to stop at the post office when I know she is working, and she told me she absolutely loved the donkeys. So Trina, I'm going to give you some envelopes, and you are going to get this set of cards. One, you are always dealing with, hi Hannah, you are always dealing with mail that either my husband or I are bringing down to you to get my shipments out to my people, my community here. So Trina, I am giving you a set of the donkey cards because I love you, girlfriend. I went to school with Trina. She is an amazing person, very caring, would do anything for anyone. So now Trina, you got 4 sets of cards, and maybe you can show John how adorable those donkeys are, so that you can get a donkey. I know that would be awesome. And you can share my opinion with him that I think you totally should get a miniature donkey. I'm not sure if I help at all, but there you go. There's my chance at helping you. All right, let's get to crafting. I think I had a couple other announcements. They'll come to me. If not, I'll post them. Let's do some of these intense cards. They're not that intense, but Oh, I got all of my pieces here. This one has some techniques going on. I saw this design on Pinterest. It was used with different product that we're not Stampin' Up, and I wanted to try and replicate it. So I have all these pieces. I didn't put a white piece in there, but I will. That was a little short on Whisper White, and now that I got my shipment of basic white, now I can start using all my white again. And it's really, you got some watercoloring technique stuff, and this is a piece of the shimmer white, and it's measured at 3x4, but I used regular Whisper White on this, but I wanted to try the shimmer to see if the watercolor technique would work a little differently. So this is the card we're making. Of course, the hydrangea paper, which goes this way, is 4x5 1/4. You have your card base that opens like this, so it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. This 4x3. 2 pieces of, and the card base is Misty Moonlight, 2 pieces of Misty Moonlight that measure 1 5/8 by 1 3/8, and 2 pieces of Misty Moonlight that measure 1 5/8 by 2 7/8. Okay, so you have those 2 pieces. And then we're going to do some cutting, and hopefully I remember all that I have going on. I might have to remeasure some things, but we're going to go ahead and try this out. You do need a couple of blocks. I need my stamps. So this is the stamp set and coordinating dies. So there's the stamp set, Hydrangea Haven stamp set. If you want just the bundle, it's Hydrangea Haven bundle. And here are all those amazing dies that you can use to make your projects. So now that we have all that set, we'll get our stamps out. And I need the big lined image. So this is 2 packs because you have ones that actually are 2-step stamping and ones that are the lined images and sentiments. So let's grab our big block. And I am going to first lay that on my big block. And this is my block E. I also need, this is going to be so much fun. Wait until you see how easy this is. You see how this card has various, it's got, I'm using the ink refills in Seaside Spray and Highland Heather. And yes, you can get this kind of look, but with the baby wipe technique, but I want to show you a different way to do that if you don't have baby wipes on hand. I need to get myself in the picture here. And so I need that stamp. I also need the leaves that fill, which are these, and another D block. So this size is a D block. I'll put it on the right way. And actually, I might actually need a bigger block. No, I think it fits on the D block. So we're gonna, yep, D block for those 2. And my sentiment is, I appreciate all the little things you do. So, let's see. So we have our sentiment and our ink colors. So we're using these. I also need my Misty Moonlight ink pad because that is the ink pad I'm using for the sentiment. So I don't want to stamp the sentiment until I have all this watercoloring done because I don't want this sentiment to run. So we're going to set that aside. I do need also the Mossy Meadow ink pad because I'm not adding 2 colors in the leaves. It's only 1 color. I'm just going to use the ink pad for that. So I need a spritzer. If you're not familiar, spritzers are, where is it? These are spritzers. They come in a 2-pack. That's not going back in my bottle. They come in a 2-pack. Item number 126185. And I'm going to show you how to use this. This only has water in it. Because I'm doing watercoloring. And we're going to obviously use those beautiful pastel pearls. If I showed you my designer series paper right now, it has got, there's like not a lot left. So I had to place another order. Plus I'm doing my class. So I had to make sure I had enough on hand. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is get my Mossy Meadow. I want to ink up, and remember these are photopolymer stamps. Get some stuff out of the way. Photopolymer stamps. So I want to, and this ink pad, I'm struggling with it. I've re-inked it a few times, So I think it's just like bone dry, but I'm just gonna, it might be a variated kind of color because it really needs to get some ink in there and soak it all up. All right, let's get my head wrapped around here. So this again is shimmer white because that is a good paper if you plus the watercolor paper also, but this is a great paper. And yes, I'm stamping this all in green. Doesn't make a difference. And actually, I don't think I did that on the original. Let's reverse that. Actually, I think I did. It's not going to make a difference when I fill in those flowers, so no worries there. So we have that stamped in Mossy Meadow ink. I'm going to set this aside so I don't stick my hand in it. And now I am going to spritz this solid stamp. I encourage you to move anything that you've already stamped aside so you're not spritzing an area where, and let me grab a paper towel. Okay, that way I'm not getting my grid paper all wet as well. So you just pop that top off, fill it up with tap water, and just about 6 inches maybe or so, just wet that with your spritzer. So this is that solid image. Then come in with your drops. This is so cool. And just add some drops here and there. This works amazing if you don't have a baby wipe. And then I'm going to show you something else now that we have that water on there. So I'm just going to come in randomly. And it tends to pool where the water is. But that awesome trio pack of brushes, this has tap water in as well, just come in and move that ink around. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, what is she doing? And if you don't have enough blue on there, and this is going to pool, so what I want you to do, if you need to pull some of that ink off, and those can just be cleaned, it's not a big deal. Let me also just come in with some more Seaside spray because I want some more blue in there. And that looks like a lot of ink, and I get it, but we're going to be okay. I just want some blue scattered around so that I get that different color going on. Now, come in with another paper towel, and where it's pooled a lot, just pull some of that out just by dabbing that on there. Now don't mix your inks because where you want blue, you want blue. Where you want the Highland Heather, that's where you want to keep that, okay? You see it just splattered everywhere? All right, and now we're gonna cross our fingers and hope for the best because I really only did this a couple times when I was messing around. All right, see that just wipes right off. Just keep squeezing some of that water off and it'll clean right off, okay? Recommend do not store these with your water inside because you don't want them to get moldy and stuff like that. So when you're storing those, make sure you empty them. Okay, let's get this out of the way for now. Come in, fingers crossed. And honestly, I want to remember those little multiple edges, and I'll show you when it is cleaner, go down towards the bottom and just tap on there that ink. Blah, muddy. Hang on. It doesn't look that great right now, but I guarantee it will be. Come in. And I think it's because I have that green on there. Let's just stamp another piece. Honestly, I mean, that's the look I got after it dried. So, and I think it's because I I think initially I stamped that in black ink, but I'm not sure. So it's okay. Let that dry. We're going to come in with our our Mossy Meadow again. And we're going to stamp the leaves, but I'm going to stamp off first. Whoops. I'm going to stamp off so that I'm coming in with a lighter shade. Oh, and I forgot to do something. So now I might start over because I should have spritzed my, so I'm just going to come in and watercolor those because I should have spritzed that before and it doesn't matter. You want the watercolor look. So come in and color it with your brush. But honestly, I should have spritzed it after putting the ink on and then stamped it. So I'm not completely satisfied with the way that flower looks, but we're going to keep going because I bet it would have looked better if I stamped off first. I'm not sure. So, but we're good. This is what it will turn out to be. Okay. No big deal. We just had a little bit too much ink on there, which, you know, is easily fixable. I could come in and actually heat set this too because it is a little damp. You can see there's some splatter marks from where the ink landed. I'm starting to fall in love with it now that it's drying, so we're good. Okay, let's put the rest of the card together with the exception of those panels because we want to let that dry for a minute. And if I need to heat set it, I'll grab my heat tool. So we're gonna just add our designer series paper to oh, and you know, I have not had issues storing the brushes. I see a little conversation going on with them getting moldy, but if you use them frequently, that may be part of the reason because you are filling them and refilling them. And I hope I did that the right direction. I did. Okay. So, I mean, it's definitely your preference, but I mean, I had a watercolor class using those and I never emptied them. It's just a tip for some people that may not use them more frequently than others. So, but great for pointing that out if you haven't had issues and maybe it's not a worry. So awesome. Thank you. Okay. So we have that on there. And now, since this is drying, I can stamp my sentiment. You see, it is coming together a little better. I think I don't like it because I think I masked and I didn't write notes. I think I used Memento black ink up here. And then, actually, I think I used Memento black ink for the whole thing. But still, that would have bled a little bit, but it didn't. So, no worries there. It just kind of blended in some of that green. But it doesn't look too bad. It's just the petals are not as profound as using black ink. So keep that in mind when you're doing yours so that you're not having the same issue as I just had. I don't recommend using StazOn with your photopolymer ink pads or with your photopolymer stamps because they will stain your stamps. There's not really a good way to clean the StazOn off of your photopolymer. I've never had luck with that. There's StazOn cleaner, but I don't think it's safe for your polymer stamps. Okay, I'm looking for my ink pad. I know I have it. All right. Misty Moonlight is going to be the sentiment. And that will get stamped down in the corner. And then we're going to cut this. And I believe, let me grab my ruler. These are cut in half. And remember, so 1 1/2. I'm going to cut it down the center at 1 1/2. Grab my paper trimmer. Like so. So when you're cutting this, you want to make sure your sentiment is over to the far right-hand side. And then this one measures 1 1/4. So then at the bottom of this, measure out a 1 1/4, like so. And then the top of this one, measure in at 1 1/4, like so. And just cut that apart. And there you go. And now we can assemble all of these pieces, and then those get dimensionals on once they're put on the pieces they go on. So it really, once you get that technique down to your liking, it really is super simple to put this card together. It just looks complicated, but it's really not. I have noticed that this stamp set and this bundle is probably more so for the avid stamper, because there's a lot of elements of die cutting and stuff like that. But I have a very simple card to share with you that it's just ink, paper, and a few embellishments. So it's not necessary to have a ton of layers. And I'll share that. It will be the last project I share with you today because it's super simple. The Whisper White piece, Tammy, is 4x3. So it's cut at 1.5, and then I cut at 1 1/4 and at 1 1/4. And it's the shimmer white I'm using on this one, but the card I created, I did use the Whisper White there. So I wonder if what makes a difference, because I think the water maybe absorbed into the Whisper White a little bit better than the shimmer white, but you'll have to test it out and see how it works for you. So, all right, this will get some dimensionals. We're going to put dimensionals on all of these. And they're over here. Brand new sheet. Just going to go ahead and do all of these while I have this in my hand. Thanks, Tammy. Oh, Valerie, I make it look simple. Well, part of it is because everything's already cut for me. You know, I have my kits and it's already cut. So yeah, but the technique, I've done it a couple times. And actually, I've also done this kind of stamping technique, just placing the ink drops on here and then spritzing it. So you have a block and you're putting the ink spots on here, spritzing it with a little bit of water, and letting it kind of do its magic, placing the stamp lightly on the ink block with another block, and then stamping it on my project. So you may get the same look with that. I actually did that with no lines before, like just using the filler pieces or the filler stamps, and it was like no line watercoloring, if that makes sense. Peel all these off. It's fun to do different techniques with different coloring options. I want to make sure I got this. So this is probably about down here. You want to make sure your border's even around the spots that you're putting which might be a little challenging. And I want to make sure I'm going to line up right. I don't want to set this so at the top, those borders are even. It kind of helps with positioning. You kind of got to play around with it to get the look you want. So don't necessarily adhere it until you know where you want to place it. And then this one goes down here. Just a little bit of space in between. There's a bigger space down here, which is fine. That's how I did my first one. So I'm kind of following how I have that designed. And then this. So you have that. How simple was that? Aside from, you know, my incident with the watercoloring, then you grab your pearls. And I'm going to use colors that, I'm not going to use the Rococo Rose, but I'm going to use the purples and the Seaside Spray. So take your pick tool, and I can just randomly just place these. I'll put the blue over where I stamped in the blue tone, the Misty Moonlight. We'll add the lighter shade up there and the Gorgeous Grape right down here. And there you go. There's the first card. I'd love to see you guys make these and share them in the comments below. I'd like to see how your watercoloring turns out. So I highly recommend using your black ink though, because I think you'd have more of that would show there. So there's card number 1. Move these aside, and now we have, I'm so excited. I have not used these, and I was surprised that I haven't used them yet. Those domes, where are they? The little, they are the Mason Jar Shaker Domes, and they are item number 153100, and you get 10 in a pack. And I'm going to show you how to use these. You may already know how, but I'm excited because I haven't used them yet. So I am going to create this card here with the little metallic, what is it? The mercury glass foil paper with some shakers in it. the little tag for the flower, and this is all die cut. The only stamping is that sentiment right there. So everything else is die cutting and embossing. So let's share how to do that. I have some scrap of Rococo Rose for the layer underneath the tag. I have this that I'm actually going to die cut this floral image with, and you can see that you can give it some life and some lift. I'm going to show you how to do that. So you can do that. I have a piece of scrap of Old Olive, scrap of Mossy Meadow, because those are going to get some die cut, and I have a piece of my Mercury Glass in Rococo Rose. And the card base flips this way, so it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. So, thanks Valerie, thank you Tammy, thanks Bonnie. Oh, you guys are so sweet, thank you. I'm so excited. Love it. I love it when people love what I create. Love it. It's so rewarding. So rewarding. Okay, first thing I want to do is grab that awesome mason jar punch, and this is part of the Flowers for Every Season mega bundle in the annual catalog. And I'm just going to punch out that Rococo Rose jar. Okay, all set with that. And set that aside. You can find this if you just want the mason jar punch in the annual catalog. I want some Whisper White Twine, which is a dual pack of ribbon with Blushing Bride in the Snailed It suite, I believe that is, or Snail Mail suite in the new mini, the JJ mini. I'm going to set these aside because I don't need them for this project. I do need my Pinewood Planks Dynamic Impressions. Well, this is Pinewood Plank 3D embossing folder, so I need that. And that is going to, I neglected to cut an extra piece of Whisper White, so let me do that really quick. Whisper White, which I put away. I'm actually getting in the habit of putting things away, which is really funny for me. I don't have a lot of clutter in my work area. All right, Whisper White cardstock, which now is basic white, so sorry for the, I'm just using up my Whisper White right now, since I still have some. And I want to cut that piece of Whisper White for the top layer at 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to come in with that. So that's 5 1/4 by 4. And let's get some stuff out of the way and bring in our Big Boss, because this folder won't fit in the Baby Boss. Get those things out of the way and my scraps. I am going to lay this in my folder, and I want to make sure that it's straight. This one does not have a line like most of them do, but it has lines in the wood grain, so you can make sure that you're positioning it right with those lines in the grain. And hopefully I got that where I want it, and it's not going to be crooked. All right, so bring in, I'm getting used to using the little one, and when I lift this one up, oh my, it's pretty heavy. So I don't think I need the, I'm not sure if I need the gray plate for this one. I'll bring it over just in case and see. I'm going to put this, the seam, the fold end in first, and I don't know, like I said, if I need this top plate. It might be yeah, I only need one of the, because this is the older one before they changed the design of the 3D folders. So I just need one of the top plates. So base plate 1 and then top plate 3. And that will emboss that for me. Get some stuff out of the way. And set this down. I don't think I need it anymore, but I may. All right. So now we have that wood grain piece. And you can lay this down with the impression debossed or embossed. So it's your choice. I actually did it reverse, so it is debossed, I guess, right? So there's that. I'm going to come in with the mini now because I can cut the rest of these with the Baby Boss. So grab all of my tools, hopefully. I moved things. I just have to find all those things. I just said I cleaned up my area, didn't I? I did. There they are. Right where I was supposed to put them. Away. All right, for the smaller machine, I need plate 1. I need a plate 2. And these do bend, so know that. I'm going to push back my iPad out of the way so that I can move this a little bit. So plate 2. These do bend. Just flip them in your machine periodically so that you can get, so they're not wearing the way, this I need to cut in 2 different colors. Okay, now I get it. So this, I actually need a bigger piece of Rococo Rose. No, I'm only cutting, so let's grab our tag as well that we need, because I'm going to cut this as a base. Okay, so I don't need the stems in Rococo Rose. And then I need the tag, because I need the bottom piece of the tag. Come in with my layer 2, the other one. Tuck that in there. I don't want that to go over. And run that through. I've been noticing I'm having issues starting this, and that is why if you stagger them, it should work. I'm not sure why I'm struggling. It might be because the way this is beveled. I'm not sure. Let's try again. There we go. Just flip that over if you have that resistance. And looks like all that cut. So let's run this back through this way, because I don't want to bend the stem of that because it's a little off. So I have that piece that I need. I have the tag that I need. And now I'm going to set that aside, put that over here. Now I'm going to make sure that I cut the, oh yeah, we have to do something special with this. And this is too big for me to put this on, so let me trim this piece by like 1 inch. If you have your paper like 3 1/4 inches, it will feed through there, because this is 3 1/2 inches wide, okay? Yeah, I think it has to do with the way the ends are beveled, Lori, like these ends. I can't imagine they feel the same to me, but it might be because you flipped one and they're not lining up right. I'm not sure, but you just got to kind of finagle it a little bit. Okay, so I only need the leaves on this piece, so I don't want to have a lot of paper waste, even though it's a piece of scrap, but I could probably make multiple of these if I wanted to with this scrap. Again, make sure this is on the right way. And I look forward to the magnetic plates for these machines to come out. That's going in crooked. What is my deal? Hang on. It's not catching. Okay. I love this thing. It might be because of that. So let's just put that whole thing on there. Line these up. There we go. Just got to be patient with it. It's really awesome for those little jobs, honestly. All right, and we'll just trim that, even though we have a full one, because I don't want the underneath of the flower to be old olive in color. So let's grab some oh, here it is. All right, so I want to grab my adhesive sheets. These adhesive sheets are item number 152334. These things are amazing, and they come in 12 by 6. Move this out of the way, and that out of the way. They come in 12 by 6. This piece of paper is what, 3 by 4? 3 by 4, I think. But anyway, I'm going to peel these off. I have to remember what end is sticky, so that end is sticky. I want to peel back. I tend to get my hand caught up in it. So the strips, you see these strips? They're like individual strips, about 2 inches. They are what have the adhesive on. Come back in here, grab your scissors or your paper trimmer, and you can trim that down. I'm going to use my adhesive scissors because I'm cutting adhesive. And just trim that away. Now you have that piece. Retain the rest of it to use on different projects. So now I have adhesive on the back of this, which is very important for this very delicate leaf outlined image to layer on the old olive piece. So again, come in with your Baby Boss and that leaf die, very intricate. And we're going to, again, use plate 1, plate 2. Make sure it's got no debris on it from other floral images so that you're not getting, sorry, I'm out of screen. There you go. And then, like these little specks of paper from things you've already cut. And then you can feed that through. All right, so there's that. And you have this, and it's got backing on it, and it should come right out real easy. You can poke out the rest of those with your, take your pick tool to get those pieces out of there. And retain this because you have that adhesive on there. You don't want to waste that, so keep that. And you can poke out all these other pieces that you don't need, like so. I call them my adhesive scissors. They are only for cutting adhesive. So, you know, when you have the edges of your Stampin' Dimensionals that you want to keep and use on projects, I literally just come in and cut with these. You can see that I have all this gook here. So you can get the paper snips from Stampin' Up! And you can label it, like tie a ribbon knowing, well, this is my adhesive scissors. These are old scissors that I had from Creative Memories. So I dubbed them, because they're not my paper snips, or my ribbon scissors. Like, these are paper snips because of the ribbon that I color coded in a sense. And these are my ribbon scissors because it's got that shiny ribbon on there. So I know the difference. So I'm not cutting paper with my ribbon scissors. I'm not cutting paper with my adhesive scissors. So it really is not anything special but a pair of scissors that is the only purpose I use them for. So it's just easy for me so that I'm not messing up my paper snips or my ribbon scissors. Because once they get gummed up with that, you got to clean them and do all that stuff. So and it will dull your ribbon scissors so they won't cut ribbon nicely. Found that out the hard way. So, all right, I get this off of here. Stuck to my finger. All right, now I have already embossed this piece. I have one more to cut out. Sorry, there's a lot of pieces to this. I have to do that piece, which is this floral image. We'll emboss, well, we'll die cut, not emboss, the floral pieces partially and the edges. So I want that to be done in that designer series paper. So come on in. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to take a drink in a minute. Put that designer series paper down and get that out of the way so I'm not ruining it. And your die. It makes for a very pretty, variegated look of your paper. I'm going to come in from the other end, but I'm not left-handed. So I'm just going to turn my machine for now. Oh, it's really hard to get through there. Okay. And I think I was off. Yeah, let me do that again. Struggling, I don't know why. Maybe my hand is a little weak today. I have issues with this wrist because I think I have a ganglion cyst there. But I'm a crafter. I don't have time to take care of that. Sorry. That would put me out of commission for a little bit. And I honestly don't want to do that. Okay, there's the key. And I know I told you guys this the last time. Is to stagger those top plates so one hangs off a little bit. All right, now we got a full floral image. All right, there's that. And take a sip of water. Lori, now you need what? What's that? The dyes? All right, I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna hope that I don't go off screen. All right, now I can get this assembled and we gotta do some stamping. I still have another tag to cut out. There's a lot of pieces, you guys. All right, we're gonna do that real quick. Find some white that I just cut. There are a lot of pieces. I should have done some of this die cutting ahead. So bear with me. All right. One more. Whisper white. Oops. On my mat. And the tag. And that. Get that on there. Slow down, MJ. You got time. Goes through much better when you stagger the plates. So there you go. Should follow my own advice, right? All right, now we got all our pieces. Let's get this done. We need our punch again. And we are going to center. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Rosellen. So you want to center this and punch your jar out of the base layer. And then we are going to build our flower, do our stamping, and get this baby done. You're wondering how I got that, there's something static in there, how I got that stem in there. I'm going to show you that as well. Okay, first thing I want to do to put this together is peel off on this jar. Grab my take your pick tool. That top adhesive backing. And lay that down because it will be very sticky. And then just place your paper on there. Make sure you get a very good seal. Okay? So we got that part down. Simple. Now, this is the tricky part, is positioning. Get all these things out of the way. You want to position these things so that you can, because I cut this out, is it necessary? Absolutely not. Not necessary to have that the same size. You could just cut a square if you don't have this punch. I mean, obviously you need the punch for the jar shaker piece, but the that does not need to be the same shape. You could actually just come in with like a 3.5 inch square or 2.5 inch square and lay that on there. So I'm gonna want to position this in a spot, and you have to adhere this with glue dots because you only want adhesive where the, and actually no, I didn't use glue dots. I used my Tombow. So let's move this back. You also could come in and just add, because I don't think, yeah, because that's going to fit right in there, like so. Okay. That just made me think of something, but you still have to build your shaker part. So let's come in with our Tombow and add a few drops of it where there is not the little Swiss cheese holes of your mercury glass. It looks like Swiss cheese. Just so it's gonna stay. And if you choose, you can use glue dots. I don't want to go too crazy. I just want to make sure this stays where I put it, because I don't want to see the adhesive through the where the mercury glass is not. Make sense? All right. So again, I want to make sure I am positioning this. So that is where that's going to lay. I'm going to come in, and this will give me a little forgiveness if I need to move it around. So are we good? Move down a little bit. I think we're where we need to be. Like so. Maybe. Now we're good. So you just kind of, Tombow glue would definitely work best because you got to do that positioning. So we got that. This is just going to get some regular adhesive. So your seal, your Stampin' Seal, when the time comes. And we are going to put some of the woven threads sequence assortment. These colors, Rococo Rose and what are the other ones? There's some random flowers in there from another kit, so sorry. Rococo Rose, Petal Pink, no, Rococo Rose, what is that color? A Purple Posy and Seaside Spray are coordinating colors with the Designer Series paper, and I thought it would look great with the paper that I used. Those little floral images, so that just wants to go right in the center. Those little tiny flowers that you may have seen, these ones right here, are from the Gorgeous Posy all-inclusive kit. I think that's what that's from, or the card kit that is in the annual catalog. Those little flowers. I could be mistaken, but I think that's what they were left over from. All right, so now that, so there's two colors that aren't necessarily coordinating with this particular product suite, but who cares, right? It's all awesome. So now you want to come in, so those in colors from last year that were introduced to us. Peel off that other backing, and I may need to hover. This is going to line up. Make sure I'm not messing myself up. Hello, it's not going to line up unless you put adhesive on it. Let's put some adhesive on the rest of that. Oh my Lanta, I got caught up with the those little shaker things and wasn't paying mind. All right, now that will have about a, I don't know, a little bit of a border on each side. So you have that built. Okay, awesome. You got your little shaker element. We are going to put the lid on our sequence so I'm not spilling those, and put those away. And now we can build our flower. So we have this piece, and I'm not going to go crazy with all these little pieces, but those will lift up. And if you go like this, because it is Designer Series paper, they will loosen up a little bit, and you'll be able to go in there and pop those up a little bit. And you definitely want to make sure you're doing it so you're getting the full effect of the card, of this layer. So make sure you're taking time to do that, like this one. You literally have to go in with your take your pick tool or whatever and just pop those up. Now, since I'm not going to take the time to do that, I want to make sure that I am not messing up my opportunity to do that when I go back to it later. I need my paper snips so that I can trim off the rest of that stem. I also need my paper snips for this flower to trim off the stem and leaf portion so I can build this. And I need the Mossy Meadow layer and the two tags, which I still have to stamp. But let's build our flower. So the best thing, my recommendation, is to coming in with some Tombow, because you want to be able to have those leaves poke out, right? Or those petals. And just like be gentle with this, because you don't want it to, I mean, this is a brand new bottle, so it's a little aggressive with the stuff coming out, like right there. And sometimes Tombow and I do not get along. So I'm sorry I'm not looking at comments, just trying to concentrate a little bit. And that should be plenty so that you can come in with your take your pick tool later and you can lift those up. And I don't want to work off screen. So let's see if I can get this positioned. Another reason for using Tombow. I think because you want that solid layer underneath. I think it lines up right there. And I'm going to lift these up because it's too far away from where I'm sitting. And I want to make sure that's all lined up. Now I probably really messed up my petals. So you have that. You can still come in and lift those petals with your take your pick tool after you have the card all assembled. So you can add a little, you know, there's a piece there that didn't come out, but you get the gist. takes some time. I'm not going to take that time with you right now because I want to keep moving and we have 2 more projects. So this piece, so I want to come in and peel that backing off gently. You don't want to ruin that lined image. It's very delicate, and I recommend not pulling it off all at once. Like, get a portion of it if you can get your fingers in there. I love my nails. Love my nails. Sometimes they're not user-friendly. All right, so get in there. Peel that off. Come on, friend. There we go. Now that leaf is going to be sticky. If you want to line this up the right way, I recommend doing 1 leaf at a time. Seems tedious, but once you have 1 down, come in and peel off the other. It doesn't matter that it doesn't fill my whole stem either, because that's part of that's going to be covered. It just relieves your aggravation. Once you have that down, it's hard to line that back up. Peel off the remaining and then get that placement going on. See, like that is not lined up. That's frustrating. But anyway, doesn't matter. So here is what else I want to do. I want to add this, but I'm going to do that after I have the stem tucked inside here. So you're thinking, how do I do that? Well, I just took my take your pick tool and gently poked a hole in there. And there you go. Poke that hole. None of your sequins are going to fall out because you're going to plug it with your stem. If you find that that hole is not big enough, come in again and just work it so it will be big enough. And if you need to poke again next to it, you can do that. So that will tuck right in there like so. I also cut off that leaf so that I was able to, now that I remember, so that I was able to get that further down into the mason jar. So you can cut off that leaf so it will tuck in further like so. Okay, so you have that all good and ready to go. Now grab your, why I have 2 bottles of Tombow when they're not even my friend, I don't know, but grab your dimensionals. So somewhere I put that full sheet of dimensionals and already misplaced it. So we are going to take this, oh there's one, and just lift up your leaf, lay that down, and then just add that like that. That's really all you need, is just a couple to hold those leaves down like so. Okay, now come in, put some dimensionals on the back of this. Hi Ida and Lynette. Hi Amanda. Hi Barb. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to comment so you go into my drawing. Got some fun stuff I'm giving away. You'll have to see in the beginning of the video when you watch the replay. So be sure to share as well. So we got some dimensionals on this. I'm sorry, this card is very detailed, definitely for an avid stamper. So just know it's going to take you a little bit of time to mess with that. So there's that hydrangea plant. Come in with your whisper white twine. You want about 7 or 8 inches. That's way more than I need. Cut that. See, those are not my ribbon scissors. Grab my ribbon scissors and cut the twine. I'm going to tuck this under, and I'm going to tie a bow around this in a minute. Bring it closer, sorry. It's like threading a needle. Just bring that around. I want to do my stamping before I do any tying, so find that white tag, and with love in the stamp set that I've already moved way out of my vision. There it is. With love. And that is going to get stamped in Rococo Rose. I did not go over the coordinating colors for this, but it is Rococo Rose, the designer series paper, Rococo Rose, Seaside Spray, Misty Moonlight, Highland Heather, Mossy Meadow, and Old Olive, and of course white. So With Love is going on this tag. in Rococo Rose. And we're going to add these together with a little bit of Stamp and Seal. All these little pieces everywhere. Please. And they're going to go at an angle with one another. But you want to make sure your circles for your twine are right there. And I want to feed this through before I tie my bow. And I want to add that to the card front with a dimensional. There's my dimensionals, right where I put them. So grab a dimensional, I want my tag to go there, and I'm gonna just like adhere that. So now I can tie my bow up here on the stem without any issues, tie it in a knot. And if I don't have enough, that's fine. I'll just tie it in a knot and leave it that way, because I don't want to struggle trying to tie a bow with this little bit of twine. So yes, 8 to 10 inches of twine to be able to do this on the front of your card. But I'm not going to fuss, my friends, so let's just forget the bow for now, because I don't have enough slack there. Trim that. Wow, a little aggressive this morning. Trim that, and there you go. You have this awesome shaker card. So that is project number 2. Hope you enjoyed that. And we'll put that over here. Now, number 3. I don't think we have a whole lot of mess with number 3, but I could be wrong. Oh yeah, no. There's a little bit of fussying with this one, and then number 4 is super simple. Okay, so this is number 3, and I'm so in love with it. Move all these stamps out of the way. We're using the stamp "You Are Capable of Amazing Things." I've already done some cutting. I will need to do some die cutting of that long floral image, which is this one here. So let's just get that right out of the way, and then I'll give you all the measurements, okay? Okay, just easier. I do need this piece, which is the back side of that piece. It's the purple tones and blue tones that are coordinating for cutting out those flowers. All right, so again, we're gonna come in with this awesome machine and my plates. So 2 of number 2 and number 1. You need number 1. Sorry. Number 2, wrong one. Number 2, it's all chewed up. And that, and this. And I'm just going to give you an idea of how to start this, but you do need like 3 rows of these flowers cut from that designer series paper. But I'm just gonna cut 1 and build on that. It's a lot of time to mess with this that I'm doing, but we'll see what we got going on here. All right, so you got all those little flowers that just cut out. Hopefully you saw them before I took them away. I'm gonna try and cut some more. So I probably need another piece of that paper. Let me find it in all my chewed up paper here that I've been working with. Honestly, I have a ton of paper I've been using. I don't even think, I only have like 2 or 3 full sheets of paper left in my supply. So I have loved this suite. You can honestly tell from all of the projects I've made so far. That's not a full piece to cover those flowers, but I'm just gonna kind of give you the gist of how I put this card together. Just has some multiple layers of these tiny flowers on the seam of those 2 pieces of designer series paper. All right, so how are we doing for time? It's 10 after. Oh, we're good. I mean, I know it's an hour, but we'll be done soon. Okay, that's that awesome tiny flowers. That's how they cut out. If you can see those little flowers, and I got a half of one I don't need. And then I'm just gonna put them in my pile over here. Okay. I will need Tombow glue. So grab my Tombow, some of this mess out of here. All right, so what I did with this designer series paper is, and I actually had a boo-boo, so I'm going to use the reverse sides. I took a piece of, actually I took 2 pieces of that paper, and let's just grab a sheet. So this is it, that paper, and I cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, 4 by 5 1/4. It's already at 4 inches. So we have 4 by 5 1/4. I took one end and lined it up the point at 3/4. The other end I lined up on the other side the point at 3/4. Hopefully you can see that okay. And then I just cut it in half, like so. I was thinking, wow, that would be great if I could just flip this over and use the other side, but it doesn't line up, obviously. So I ended up making a card with I cut out 2 pieces basically, so that I could mix the sides up to equal each other. So you have one that will kind of show the design from the left, you know, the diagonal from the left, and then you have the other piece that will not pair up because it's cut the same, but you know what I mean. I got the other piece for building that side. So you obviously can build 2 cards. You have to cut 2 pieces that way so it works. Make sense? Okay. So now I want to come in and I'm just going to add these. This really isn't that hard of a card either. So again, this was 4 1/4 or 4 by 5 1/4, and you're just going to come in and you're going to add that adhesive. And you actually could build it the same way that you did the other one, but I'm going to do it opposite. And again, you know, when you cut something that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, it's going to leave you like a 1/8 of an inch border. We'll use this piece since it's a mess. No biggie, because you're not going to see that. But I tried using actually a piece of tear and tape, but it didn't work very well. So, and then you just line those 2 pieces up so you have both of those designer series paper showing, okay? And now you can run a piece of seal down the center and just keep building your flowers, or you can use your Tombow because you want to reposition and just do some random dots down there. And just, you don't have to do them all at once. Grab your take your pick tool if you know where it is. There it is. And just pick up those floral images and make sure you got the right side that you want to use. And then I just kept adding them layer on top of layer. So just down the seam, wherever I had ink or wherever I have Tombow, just keep going and going and going. So we'll get one line down. It's a little time consuming, but it's very therapeutic. I gotta be honest with you. Use your Tombow, add your flowers. They can overlap. I know it seems like the colors are blending in way too much with what you got going on, but when you're done, you have all these floral pieces that just kind of pop, and then you add your Wink of Stella to give it a little bit of shimmer, okay? So that is really what you're gonna do with this card. You're just gonna keep building those, and I actually used 3 rows of the entire strip of flowers. So how many flowers is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 flowers 3 times. So there's 27 flowers on that. So you just keep building and building. So you get the gist of how you assemble that, right? And I'll finish that part later. Then you grab a piece of designer series paper that has, which I neglected to do, just grab that real quick. This here, that piece there. So it's the reverse side of that. And I just want a piece that is going to work for me though. You're going to do some fussy cutting. This must have been the one I fussy cut. So this one I'm going to use the blue flowers. So just grab your paper snips. Really simple to fussy cut. Or you can cut it out with a circle die to save yourself some time. And just come in and just, you know, around those edges. like so. Have you guys, do you have this suite? Have you purchased it? What are your thoughts? Have you played with it? Don't forget I have a class that you can register for. If you look, scroll down into the news feed on my group here or in my business page, you can totally register for that. Today is the last day. I am so excited how many people have signed up for that class. It must be the product, definitely the product. It's awesome, gorgeous stuff. And it's like a breath of fresh air. The spring catalog always does that, and I know it's not called the spring catalog. The JJ Mini, this time of year when we're all like kind of tired of the cold, or, you know, obviously we're all tired of being in the house, but that's for other reasons. Tired of the cold and whatnot, then it's totally awesome to brighten up and sunshine. Everything in the catalog just brings so much sunshine. Okay, so this is going to get dimensionals on it, but first I need to do some stamping, which I have my scrap piece of Whisper White. I'm going to do my stamping in Misty Moonlight. And with the, if I don't lose these stamps today, it'll be a miracle. You are capable of amazing things. I'll grab that stamp, put those in there so I don't lose them. And we're going to stamp in Misty Moonlight. I think this needs to be re-inked too. And just stamp that on a piece of white scrap. And we need our tag, which is another banner tag type thing in this die set. And I know that I don't have a magnetic platform for this, but I'm still going to cut it with this one because it's handy and right close to me. So, those of you that are not familiar with another option of how to handle these, you can grab a Post-it note, lay your sentiment on there, and your tag. Put a Post-it note on there to keep it still. Oops. Put it on the right one. I don't want to gum up both of these. And let's line that back up. Add that. Try not to move that. And run that through. But a Post-it note will help keep that lined up and where you want it. So, Lori purchased, still patiently waiting. Love the colors. And yes, Ellen, I love these colors. All right, so we have our tag. Put that over there. And so first thing you want to do when you are layering and you're going to put dimensionals on something, I highly recommend to do the layering first. So I know that I want my sentiment to go, I want those stems to show a little bit down below, like that. And then you can reinforce anywhere that you put adhesive with your dimensionals. Make sense? So that it just reinforces those areas and it won't, you know, come apart. Not that it's going to, but, you know, it's just helpful. And actually, there are times where I don't even use the seal. I just do the layer and flip it over and just add the dimensionals as the adhesive to hold it together. So you get the gist of how, I guess I should make my sentiment the right way, of how to do these floral images. So I will continue to build on that later on to complete the card, to share a photo later. And I want to also use those beautiful sequins, or not sequins, but those pastel pearls. I can grab them. Again. And now, since we have Rococo Rose in there, you can use any of these colors. Well, you could do that anyway, but... So I'm going to just randomly add some of these. Well, that just fell in a perfect spot. We'll use the lighter of the purples, and I'll toss in a Rococo Rose up here. So there you go. So just, like I said, continue building that, and that is what it's going to look like. So there you go. Yay! Card number 3. All right, now on to the final card, which is so super simple. I'm in love with it. Minimal supplies. And we have a piece of thick basic white. that is cut at 5.5 and 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. A piece of regular Whisper White that measures 3 3/4 by 5 for the top layer. This is so easy. You're gonna just, way back when, not way back when, a while back, they had, Stampin' Up! Had a stamp set that was called Work of Art. And it had little splotch marks like some of these stamps. And you could build so many things with those splotch marks. Like people were building flowers, they were building, I don't know, it was just amazing, like rainbows of colors, and it was just so beautiful. I loved that set. I was heartbroken when it went away. But, you know, they always come up with something even better. So I am pulling in a color that is not a coordinating color because it's a lighter shade of green, and that's okay. And I am going to do some stamping. There's 2 shades that I am going to not stamp off first. The Rococo Rose and Highland Heather are 2nd generation. So we're gonna do that, 2nd generation. I do need to clean these in between. So I need to make sure I have my cleaner handy so I'm not messing up my ink pads. So 2nd generation Rococo Rose. And that is going to get stamped close to the top, about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/4 or 3/8 of an inch below. Clean off your stamp. So if you're not familiar with 2nd generation, you pretty much are inking your stamp, stamping it on a piece of scrap paper or your grid paper, and then the 2nd stamp goes on to your project. So that is 2nd generation. If you ever hear that terminology, that's what people mean. Thanks, Sharon. And now, make sure there's no residue on there before I tap into my Highland Heather. And we are going to stamp Highland Heather 2nd generation. And it's okay if they overlap, just keep that in mind if the colors overlap. So there's that. Oh, I'm so in love with these colors. And, oh, you know what I did? I used Gorgeous Grape instead. I was supposed to use Highland Heather, but that's okay. It still looks good. Works out perfect. And then clean your stamp. You guys probably saw me do that too, but it still looks good. So it's a little bit darker than the other card, but no worries there. All right, we got that clean. Come in with your Seaside spray. And this project is so super simple. And you're just going to stamp this in first, just ink and stamp your project. Because it's a lighter shade anyway. Oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. I'm falling in love with the project all over again. And then I'm gonna need the Gorgeous Grape again. All right, so let's clean off our stamp again. I have to keep saying it so I don't stick my stamp in ink before cleaning it. And Soft Seafoam is not a coordinating color with the DSP. However, I'm not using the DSP for this project. So that is inking your stamp and just stamping it below. Oh my gosh. Totally can see a baby card with this too, you know? All right, so we've got all that stamped. We want to stamp our sentiment and our floral image in Gorgeous Grape. I have stuff everywhere. So clean off my big stamp. And I'm not going to stamp off this one. I hope those of you that have this suite and stamp set and stuff get inspired to use it after watching my video. I know I've watched a few people using this, these products, and I don't know. Well, and of course for me it is, so I inked this up with Gorgeous Grape. For me, this whole suite has sentimental value with it being, you know, one, our wedding colors, which were like a sage green and lavender, and of course the hydrangea. So, so pretty. I just want to cry because it's so beautiful. Do you ever get that way when you make something or you see something and it's just so beautiful that it makes you want to just cry because it's just so, I'm so in love with it. All right, the sentiment is the world is better because of you. A lot of people fit that fit that sentiment, and I'm so grateful. So awesome. All right, so we're gonna stamp that in Gorgeous Grape, and that will go down towards the bottom of the card for that top layer. And it's okay if it overlaps that ink because it's a different shade and it's still gonna show up. All right, I need to get moving and get you guys going for the rest of the day so that I'm not taking up all of your time. I just hope you really, really enjoy these projects. All right, we got our pearls. I wanna incorporate those because they're delicate. I want the smaller pearls, but you don't have to. You can use the pastel pearls. I need my twine. I'm gonna cut off about, honestly, it's quite a bit that I cut off. I can't even tell you, 24 inches or so, because it's going to get wrapped around 2 or 3 times. Grab my ribbon scissors, and I'm just going to wrap this around towards the green color, like right towards the bottom. Wrap that around, come around again and again. And it needs to be tied in a bow, so I want to make sure I have enough slack on that one side, so I might have to zhuzh it a little bit so that I have enough slack over here to tie a bow. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to show you a trick. So bring this together. It wrapped around 2 times in full. I'm going to tie this in a knot, and then cut off my finger. You can zhuzh it, move it around like that so it's where you want it. Now, these pieces are going to separate on that end. So they're at like a diagonal, like so. And then I'm going to carefully grab my dimensionals, and I'm going to use some of these border pieces that I didn't cut from that one. I don't know which one I cut from. Actually, I'll just grab these because those aren't cut. All right. I'm just going to add some dimensionals here. Excuse me. To get this adhered to the top of the card. Make sure I don't have my twine going underneath there. And it literally is just going to lay on the top of the card front. Flip this over because for me it is easier to tie a bow for it to lay right if my card is upside down. And again, I don't know if I have enough slack here, or if I have enough twine. You may literally need like 24 to 28 inches of twine, and that's not so bad. So I can trim that one end to be the same as the other. Wow, these are getting dull. I think I need new ribbon scissors. Oh, because they weren't my ribbon scissors. Those are. All right, so there's that. My pearls. Where do they open? And I'm just going to grab 3 pearls with my putty end. Just randomly place them on my card front like so. And my project is done. So there you go. Pretty awesome, huh? So, what did we do today? I'll show you that one finished. We did the shaker card. And we did, I want to see if this dried to look a little bit better. And we did that one, but I'm going to show you that one because that one had a little ink incident. I really don't know if it was the paper or if I just had too much ink on the block, but either way. So there you go. Those are our projects today. I hope you truly enjoyed my presentation today. Let's flip the camera so I can say goodbye to you all. I'm going to cover the camera screen and point you towards me. And you'll see outside. You might see my dog running around. And let's see. Hi. Thanks for your patience with all these projects. I'm so glad that some of you stuck around for this presentation. I am so blessed to be here with you guys every week. So surprise for the live. I wasn't going to be live today, so I'm super glad that I was able to be. So now I need to pick up my mess because I literally was throwing stuff everywhere. Take some photos of my projects to get those posted and shared everywhere. Thanks, everybody. I'm so happy that you loved what I shared with you today, and look forward to some fun stuff that I'll share during the week. And just so you know, I am going to use, if I can unbury my catalog, let me turn to the suite that I'm using next week. It's time to get some Valentine's stuff made for those people that want to do their own Valentine's. I am going to use this product suite next week. It is called Love You Always Suite. It's a mega bundle, but I want to tell you it's strictly going to be Valentine projects. I'm going to do some 3Ds and some coordinating cards so that you have some ideas to do some gift giving for whoever you need to, or do some porch drop-offs for people that you want to share some love with for Valentine's Day. So don't forget your neighbors. Stop over to your neighbors and drop something off for them as well. So, all right, blessings to all. I will see you throughout the week with some random posts of projects that I haven't shared with you yet, and fun stuff next week in store. Remember, place those orders with the host code so you qualify for these make and takes. All right, blessings, everybody. Bye.